Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
A man has life-threatening injuries after a shooting at a North Raleigh apartment complex. This is a live look from the WRAL breaking news tracker. What we've learned from police who've been there for 3 hours.
And train derailment. Amtrak routes in and out of Raleigh are canceled because of a crash in Halifax County. What CSX is saying about its cars that went off the rails.
And Irwin, a powerful Category 4 storm. We have already some impacts that are likely to happen midweek along our coastline. I'll show you coming up.
Well, Hurricane Erin is picking up strength overnight after causing heavy rains and flooding in Puerto Rico. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, let's get right back to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. But before we get to her, the outer bands of Erin hit Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands over the weekend. The storm is not expected to make landfall on the East Coast. However, there are already evacuation orders in place on the Outer Banks. And Elizabeth tracking the latest movements in her forecast. Elizabeth.
So fortunately, we haven't seen a whole lot that has changed. Still not expecting the center of circulation to make landfall, but that doesn't mean that we won't see impacts. We saw that video of those heavy rain bands across parts of the Caribbean. We're going to see more of that. As a matter of fact, the storm is close to the southern islands of the Bahamas right now. Not going to make landfall, but those outer rain bands, of course, could produce some flooding and some damage along the coast. It's moving northwest at 13 miles per hour, winds at 130. The 8 o'clock advisory is in, but we really haven't seen too much of a change. Not expecting a lot of change. The models have been pretty consistent in the path that stays off the coast of North Carolina and also off the coast of Bermuda as a Category 2 storm moving offshore. We do have some evacuation orders already for Hatteras and Ocracoke Islands. Those are the only two so far that we know of. We'll let you know if we hear of any others. For us here, we have a cold front that'll slip southward today. It may be the focus for some scattered storms later on. But right now, we're looking at a nice start to the day. Lots of sunshine, 76 in the triangle, but the dew point's at 72. So it is pretty muggy out there. A 30% chance of storms, mainly in our eastern counties. Some of those could produce some heavy downpours. We'll see a high of 92 this afternoon, but the heat index is going to make it feel more like upper 90s. Laura?
Here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we're monitoring a crash in Nightdale that is causing some major delays. Taking a live look over Smithfield Road in Nightdale. You can see traffic picking up here. But to that crash, it's happening on Nightdale Boulevard near Smithfield Road. You can see all of the red here on the map. This is going to be on the westbound lanes. If you're traveling in this area, just be mindful of this. We know that this is causing some delays heading into the capital city in Raleigh right now. We know it's causing about a 9-minute delay. In Wake Forest, a 8-minute delay. And then from NC 86, only a 1-minute delay. So just be mindful if you're heading out on the roads, and you can tune us in on 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Laura. Breaking news, a man has life-threatening injuries after a shooting at a North Raleigh apartment complex this morning. This happened on Lake Hill Drive. That's near Sandy Forks Road and Falls of Neuse Road. Allie Calabar is there in the WRAL breaking news tracker. And Allie, police got the call around 5 o'clock this morning. What else do we know?
Well, Michelle, we know that the shooter has not been arrested. Police are still investigating. We know that the forensics unit is expected to come out here and continue this investigation. It all happened in this building right here where the window is shattered. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. This was around 5:30 this morning, and we saw officers search the parking lot and the apartment unit. Officers got here around 5 a.m. A man was shot. He has life-threatening injuries. We're still working to learn what led up to this shooting, as well as the identities of the people involved. We're going to keep you guys updated throughout the morning. Reporting in Raleigh, Allie Calabar, WRAL News.
Well, a major train derailment in Halifax County is disrupting Amtrak routes up and down the East Coast. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at Raleigh's Union Station. Kelsey, we know this derailment involved dozens of CSX cars carrying coal.
Yes, Laura, it did. That CSX train derailment in Halifax County is impacting train routes up and down the East Coast, including some train routes that were supposed to leave Union Station here in Raleigh. We'll give you a look now at video from Sky 5 of that aftermath. You can see the extensive damage. A train derailed 28 loaded coal cars in Enfield yesterday, according to SCX. This is how it's impacting routes this morning. You can see here that Amtrak announced Coast. A route between Raleigh and New York has been canceled. All routes from D.C. to Raleigh are also canceled. And then at least 11 routes from Miami to New York were canceled. So we've checked in with CSX to find out some more information about what caused this derailment. We're still waiting to hear back. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Fayetteville police are investigating a shooting that killed a man and injured 2 others. Police say officers were sent out to China Oak Drive near South Riley Road just after 7:30 last night. Officers found 3 people who had been shot. All of them were taken to the hospital. One of them later died. Police say the other 2 are expected to recover. Fayetteville police want anyone with information to come forward.
Raleigh police are investigating what appears to be a road rage stabbing. It happened at Lewisburg Road and Perry Creek Road shortly after 9 o'clock last night. Police say there was a crash involving 2 vehicles. The drivers started fighting and both were injured. Police say one man stabbed the other and accidentally cut himself as well. Both men were taken to the hospital. They're expected to recover.
Raleigh leaders are expected to give an update today on the first phase of the city's new bus rapid transit system. Construction is set to get started next month, and today's update is expected to be about traffic impacts on New Bern Avenue. The first phase will connect downtown Raleigh with Wake Med and New Hope Road. Phase 1 alone could take 2 years to complete. When the BRT line is finished, New Bern Avenue will have 10 stations and a little over 3 miles of bus-only lanes. Tonight's public meeting is from 6 to 8 p.m. at Martin Street Baptist Church.
The utility company Enbridge in Raleigh wants to raise gas rates. Today, you can make your voice heard about your thoughts on that. The company wants to increase rates by 12.3%. To do this, the company needs approval from the NC Utilities Commission. They're holding a public hearing today to talk about it. If the rate hike is approved, it would take effect in November. Today's hearing is at the Utilities Commission building on Salisbury Street in Raleigh at 7 p.m.
Later today, President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will meet at the White House, where you are looking live. Other European leaders will be there for this crucial discussion. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron are among those expected to be there. They're expected to discuss a possible peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Just days ago, Trump met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska. Putin agreed to allow security guarantees for Ukraine, but he is also demanding Ukraine give up Crimea and agree never to join NATO.
Happening today, a federal judge will hear arguments over the controversial Alligator Alcatraz detention center in Florida. The facility is at the center of 2 lawsuits. Today's case will be over accusations that the Trump administration officials are violating the civil rights of detainees. The lawsuit claims that people are being blocked from accessing legal counsel. The other lawsuit is over environmental concerns.
A new semester begins at Wake Tech Community College today. With it comes a huge surge in enrollment. That's according to the school. The college is welcoming nearly 28,500 students. That's almost 3,000 more students than this time last year. It's the highest enrollment in the college's history. More than 9,000 of those students are new to Wake Tech, which is also a record. Next month, the school breaks ground on a major expansion of the health sciences campus.
And happening today, a couple of school districts kick off the new school year. Today is the first day of classes for Person and Sampson County schools. The Wake County School starts 1 week from today. The WRAL has you covered for the start of the new school year. Find out where to find the cheapest supplies, how to prepare your child for the first day, and more on WRAL.com. Just search the words back to school. American tourists dead. 2 drownings at a Carnival cruise resort in the Bahamas. The circumstances of the 2 tragedies that happened just 2 hours apart.
And Liberation Station returns. The Black-owned Raleigh bookstore getting ready to reopen. The role the community is playing to get it back up and running again.
And today we may end up with a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, especially in our eastern counties. Some of those could produce some heavy rain. I'll walk you through it on Futurecast coming up. It's 8:12 and it's looking beautiful in Apex this morning. Look at all that gorgeous blue sky. Temperatures are comfortable right now, but it is muggy and it's going to stay sticky on through the afternoon. We'll have enough moisture with a weak front coming through this afternoon that we have a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly in our eastern counties. We'll walk through that on Futurecast in just a few minutes. So small chance today, even smaller on Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday is when Aaron will pass by the coast, not making landfall. We'll see very minimal, if any, impacts right here. But we'll talk about what we could see along the coast coming up. This afternoon is going to be a great day to head to the pool. 92 is going to feel more like 98 this afternoon. Do look out for a few late day storms. Laura?
Tracking conditions here on the road right now, taking a live look at I-40 at Jones Sausage Road. You can see traffic really picking up at this hour. Right now, we are monitoring a crash in Nightdale. That's on Nightdale Boulevard near North Smithfield Road. You can see all the red here on the map from the backups and delays that we're seeing. And delay times about 10 minutes heading from Nightdale into the Raleigh area. So be sure to tune us in on the road and radio when you're on the road at 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Laura. We are staying on top of that breaking news out of Halifax County. Crews working to clean up a major train derailment this morning. This is blocking Amtrak routes up and down the East Coast. 28 coal cars from a CSX train derailed north of Enfield. This is video from Sky 5 showing the work to clean that mess up. Amtrak says routes between Raleigh and New York are canceled. All routes from D.C. to Raleigh are also canceled. And 2 American tourists drowned at a brand new resort. This happened at the Celebration Key Resort in the Bahamas on Friday. Carnival Cruises owns it. We know a 79-year-old man was found unresponsive while snorkeling at the beach, and that a 74-year-old woman was swimming in a pool. They died within a few hours of each other. A lifeguard tried to give CPR both times. Panic during an event at Morrisville. Police say gunshots triggered a stampede and caused someone to have a seizure. Police say this happened early yesterday morning at the UTSAV event venue on Davis Drive. About 20 people were still there when police arrived. Morrisville police say someone fired the shots outside the venue. So far, no arrests have been made. And police say no charges will be filed after a crash on Six Forks Road in Raleigh that killed a woman. The crash happened early yesterday morning at the Lassiter Mill Road intersection. That's near North Hills. Police say 22-year-old Nazariah Eason died at the scene. Investigators believe she ran the red light at the intersection and hit another car. They say she was not wearing a seatbelt. The person in the other car did suffer injuries as well.
We have learned the people who died in an Orange County crash on Friday were a couple from Cleveland, Ohio. They died in that crash on I-40 just west of Hillsborough. 2 children were also hurt. 55-year-old Daniel Nunny and 50-year-old Maria Nunny both died at that scene. 2 of their young children, 9 and 14 years old, were in the back. Troopers say the minivan ran off the road and into the tree line. Radio traffic from Broadcastify indicates the van caught on fire.
Report that there's a party on scene that is advising the vehicle is on fire and the doors are jammed.
I do have smoke showing the car's deep down the embankment. I'll advise further momentarily.
And right now, the children are in the hospital. Troopers tell us they believe the girls' injuries are more serious. The couple has an older son who was attending UNC Chapel Hill.
Breaking news, we've learned the name of the motorcycle rider who died after crashing into a fire truck in Durham. Highway Patrol tells us Dewal Dasing of Apex crashed into the fire truck on NC 54 yesterday morning. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The fire truck was responding to a call with its lights and siren on at the time of the crash. 3 firefighters who were in the truck were not hurt. Some National Guard troops are reportedly preparing to carry firearms as they patrol the streets of Washington, D.C. That's according to 2 U.S. officials who spoke with NBC News. This marks a major change in President Donald Trump's federal takeover of the city to address crime and homelessness. More troops are expected to be deployed to D.C. this week from West Virginia, Ohio, and South Carolina.
Hundreds of thousands of protesters in Israel are demanding a ceasefire deal with Hamas. They also demand the remaining 50 hostages. A series of rallies were held in several cities, including a massive protest in Tel Aviv. Now, actress Gal Gadot also showed her support for the protests. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the demonstrations will hearten Hamas's stance. 20 Israeli hostages are still believed to be alive.
The United States is suspending visitor visas for people in Gaza. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says it's because there is some evidence that some organizations arranging the visas have ties to terror groups like Hamas. This comes after Trump ally Laura Loomer criticized the American nonprofit Heal Palestine. The group says it provides medical treatment and is not a refugee resettlement program.
Amazon's App Store will shut down this week for Android devices. Amazon says this is so that the company can primarily focus on the App Store experience on its own devices, like Fire TVs and Fire tablets. The company says Android users who have Amazon coins will be refunded. The App Store will shut down for Android devices on Wednesday.
College football season kicks off in 5 days, and you can help your favorite ACC team make more money by just watching on TV. New this year, the league will distribute some of its money to schools based on television viewership. The move is part of a legal settlement with Florida State and Clemson. The ACC put payments in place for on-field success last year. Now they've added a viewership component. For more on the ACC's new revenue equation and to get ready for the season, visit WRAL.com.
The owner of a Black-owned bookstore in Raleigh is sharing an update on her journey to reopening and fundraising efforts. Victoria Scott Miller spoke with WRAL last month to announce plans to bring the store Liberation Station back. It previously had a location in downtown Raleigh, but closed after facing what they call racist threats. Scott Miller says the store is now planning to reopen in a place and space at Montague Plaza off of Rock Quarry Road. The plaza is dedicated to housing Black-owned businesses. Scott Miller held a community meeting yesterday to update people in the community about the progress. She says that they've already reached half of their $60,000 fundraising goal in only 30 days.
It's an encouraging turnaround, especially during such a volatile time, that people can see the vision and importance in investing in children of color's education, making sure that they are surrounded by mirrors where they can see themselves and flourish.
Now, the hope is to have the bookstore back open in the location in June of next year. There's a GoFundMe page set up for Liberation Station. You can learn more about it on WRAL.com.
This month, we are helping local animal shelter pets find forever homes. It's for our Clear the Shelters adoption campaign. For the month of August, the Carolina Animal Network is reducing dog adoption fees to $25. Give a furry friend a fresh start. To learn more about this and other local events, go to WRAL.com/shelters. All right, let's get over to weather. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner closely tracking Erin and where it is right now.
Over the weekend, it decreased down to a Category 3. Now it's Category 4 again. It did not make landfall in any of the Caribbean islands, but a lot of those rain bands produced some strong, heavy rain, some strong winds, some flooding. It is pushing just past the southern islands of the Bahamas with some of those heavy rain bands right now. The center of circulation not likely to make landfall there. It is going to continue that northwesterly and then eventually northerly turn and head up toward North Carolina, but not likely to make landfall. Moving northwest at 13 miles per hour, winds at 130. It's just under 900 miles away from Cape Hatteras right now. Currently, Cape Hatteras and Ocracoke Island both have mandatory evacuation orders. Those are the only two that we know of right now, but we'll let you know if that changes. Likely to be Category 2 sitting off the coast of North Carolina, but especially the Outer Banks, likely to see some major impacts. The storm is 500 miles wide if you take a look from end to end at where those rain bands are. So it's a huge, huge system. Our southern beaches likely to start to see rip current danger increasing for it today and tomorrow. And then from our northern Outer Banks down to at least Cape Lookout, expect some coastal flooding, beach erosion, heavy surf, and of course they're trying to get some folks out of there. Between Cape Hatteras and the center of circulation, Thursday morning early is likely to be 250 miles. So again, not making landfall, but still those outer rain bands are going to potentially cause some damage. Already we have a heavy surf advisory in effect for most of the coast that stretches all the way down to Wilmington. Offshore waves at 50 to 20 feet, and then some significant flooding, especially along the Outer Banks, but that does stretch all the way down to Surf City as well. So our coastal impacts are going to be dangerous rip currents, especially for our southern facing beaches. Parts of Highway 12 could be impassable, and we'll have tropical storm force gusts. Another system trying to take shape here in the tropics, a 50% chance it develops in the next 5 days. We're not going to take too close a look at that until we see Erin Aaron move on past our coast. But worth a mention. Taking a look at Raleigh, Fayetteville, Chapel Hill, and Apex. Lots of sunshine out there. But this afternoon, we're looking at a 30% chance of thunderstorms. Today is likely to be the hottest day of the week at 92. A weak front crossing our area today delivers 80s for the remainder of the week. We also have a small chance for thunderstorms. But while Aaron is moving off our coast Wednesday and Thursday, it looks pretty quiet here. Laura?
Elizabeth, right now we're tracking a couple of crashes across the triangle. We're also monitoring an emergency road closure in Raleigh. Taking a live look at Tryon Road. We have a crew on the scene there where emergency responders are working on a water main break that happened yesterday. Crews returned to the scene around 6:30 this morning. You can see that they are still well underway working on that. So if you're traveling east on Tryon Road, you want to make sure that you turn left on Avon Ferry Road. That's going to help you get around it. Meanwhile, taking a look at some of the crashes we're looking at some major delays in Knightdale Boulevard. That's where you really want to watch out for. You can see all of the red here on the map. This is causing some backups. It happened in the westbound lane near North Smithfield Road. So it is causing some delays if you're traveling from Knightdale, especially into Raleigh this morning. If you want to stay updated here with us, you can see from Knightdale, 11-minute delay, and from Wake Forest, 8-minute delay traveling into Raleigh. Tune us in on the radio on 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Laura. Flames shoot into the air. A brush fire burns in Hillsborough. How a witness says electrical lines sparked it. And healthy sleep habits. Students need a good night's rest as they start a new school year. We're
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. What a nice start we have to our week. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a live look over RDU. A good day to fly.
Yeah, pretty sunshine right now. We're taking a live look here. Hardly a cloud in the sky. The only thing about today is still pretty sticky out there, and it's going to be a hot afternoon. We also have a small chance for thunderstorms, mainly in our eastern counties. It's a 30% chance, but there could be some heavy downpours. Walking the dog this morning, it feels a bit sticky out there, but boy, it's a hot afternoon for us. 92 degrees. It'll feel more like 98 with the heat index. Laura?
Here in the traffic center, we are tracking a couple of crashes across the triangle. The biggest one that we know is happening in Knightdale. We're taking a live look right now, though, at I-40 at Jones Sausage Road, where you can see traffic really beginning to pick up. A different story in Knightdale, where we're actually seeing some backups because of a crash on Knightdale Boulevard near North Smithfield Road. So a 10-minute delay if you're traveling from Knightdale into Raleigh, an 8-minute delay if you're traveling from Wake Forest into the capital city. Be sure to tune us in on 101.5 HD3 when out on the roads.
Thanks, Laura. A major train derailment in Halifax County causing delays across the East Coast, including Raleigh. Video from Sky 5 shows the mess the CSX derailments left. Amtrak says routes between Raleigh and New York are canceled. All routes from D.C. to Raleigh are also canceled. And a man is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after he was shot at a Raleigh apartment complex. Police say this happened on Lake Hill Drive before 5 o'clock this morning. Video from the WRAL breaking news tracker shows crime scene tape and a heavy police presence. No arrests have been made. Next on Fox 50, why new bus system construction could mean more traffic headaches for people in Raleigh. And coming up on Today, Naomi Osaka talks about her new documentary.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now at 8:30, breaking news. Police are investigating a reported shooting at an apartment complex in Raleigh. The new information we're learning from the WRAL breaking news tracker.
And I'm tracking Aaron, which is now a powerful Category 4 storm. It increased in intensity overnight. It's still likely to brush past North Carolina. I'll show you what they're expecting at the coast.
And an emergency road closure as well as several crashes across the triangle. I'm going to keep you updated on what we're seeing on the roads as you head out the door.
Plus a train derailment. Amtrak lines out of Raleigh and up and down the East Coast canceled. What we know about the spill in Halifax County that's caused the major disruption this morning. One of the many big stories we are following for you on your Monday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey, joined by Laura Levine. Aaron strengthened into a Category 4 hurricane last night. It moved through parts of the Caribbean yesterday, including the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Back here in North Carolina, mandatory evacuations underway in Dare County and Hatteras Island. Let's go over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, a Category 4.
Yes, it had dropped down to Category 3 over the weekend, and then again overnight last night. Really started to pick up some more intensity. A really powerful looking eye here. And of course, it's been brushing past. It didn't make landfall technically, but brushing past a lot of the Caribbean islands and some of those outer rain bands, producing very heavy rain, flooding, and some dangerous conditions there. It's 890 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras, moving northwest at 13, winds at 130 miles per hour. It's likely to move past North Carolina late Wednesday into Thursday. So as we said just a minute ago, Cape Hatteras, or at least Hatteras Island, as well as Ocracoke Island, have mandatory evacuations, both for visitors and for residents. We'll let you know if there are any other islands that see the same thing. Of course, you know, our outer banks stick out here in the ocean, and so they tend to catch the biggest brunt of any storms that are moving past. Around here, we have a cold front that's going to dip southward. It's a weak one, but it may focus some showers and thunderstorms for us later today. In the meantime, in North Hills, it's pretty out there. Lots of sunshine, but warm and sticky. 76 with a dew point way up at 72. A small chance for storms this afternoon, just a 30% chance, but it's a hot one, a high of 92, and it will feel hotter than that with the heat index. I'll show you coming up. Laura?
Here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we're monitoring a lot of crashes across the triangle. We're also monitoring an emergency road closure in Raleigh. Let's take you live to that scene at Tryon Road, where you can see water crews working on a water main break that began yesterday. They returned to the scene around 6:30 this morning. If you're traveling on Avent Ferry Road, or Tryon Road, that is, Avent Ferry Road is going to be your detour. If you're traveling east, you want to turn left, and that'll get you around all of that. Back here on the roads, however, we are looking and monitoring at a major crash in Nightdale that is causing some major delays. We're talking about 12 minutes coming in from the Nightdale area if you're traveling to the capital city, 8 minutes from Wake Forest. Of course, we're going to keep you updated here in the traffic center on what we're seeing here on the roads. Be sure to tune us in on 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Laura. Breaking news, a man is seriously hurt after a shooting at an apartment complex in North Raleigh. This happened on Lake Hill Drive. That's near Sandy Forks Road and Falls of Neuse Road. Ali Kadlabar is there on the WRAL breaking news tracker. And Ali, police have been there since 5 o'clock this morning.
Yes, Michelle, and I've been listening to Broadcastify radio traffic throughout the morning, and it sounds like someone went into the building, shot the man, and then left and fled on foot. Now, the investigation's still ongoing behind me. They're waiting for a forensics unit to come out here and continue to investigate. We know that this is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. Around 5:30 this morning, we saw officers search the parking lot and apartment unit. Officers got here around 5 a.m. They found a man shot. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. We're still working to learn what led up to this shooting. We know no arrests have been made. The shooter has not been found. We are going to keep you guys updated throughout the day. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Ali, thank you. A major train derailment in Halifax County is disrupting Amtrak routes up and down the East Coast. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at Raleigh's Union Station. Kelsey, we know this derailment involved dozens of CSX cars carrying coal.
Yes, Laura, it did. That CSX train derailment in Halifax County is impacting train routes across the country, including some routes that were scheduled to leave here at Union Station in Raleigh. We'll give you a look now at the aftermath from this Sky 5 video. A train derailed 28 loaded coal cars in Enfield yesterday around 4 o'clock, according to SCX. And you can still see that damage that's there this morning. We'll talk to you about how this is impacting routes right now. Amtrak announced a route between Raleigh and New York has been canceled. All routes from D.C. to Raleigh are no longer running. And at least 11 routes from Miami to New York have been canceled. So we've reached out to CSX for more information about what caused this derailment. We're still waiting to hear back. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News. I'm in Raleigh.
Breaking news, we've learned the name of the motorcycle rider who died after crashing into a fire truck in Durham. Highway Patrol tells us DeWal Desai of Apex crashed into the fire truck on NC 54 yesterday morning. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The fire truck was responding to a call with its lights and siren on at the time of the crash. 3 firefighters who were in the truck were not hurt.
Happening tonight, people who live near the New Bern Avenue corridor of Raleigh's bus rapid transit system will get an update on its construction process. Construction on the first phase of this system is expected to start in about a month, and that will connect downtown Raleigh with Wake Med and New Hope Road. The city will host a community meeting tonight about how that traffic will affect you on your day-to-day on New Bern Avenue. When the BRT line is finished, New Bern Avenue will have 10 stations and a little over 3 miles of bus-only lanes.
Project because it's not only upgrading the road by itself, it's gonna give service to the resident.
And tonight's public meeting is from 6 to 8 p.m. at Martin Street Baptist Church.
A person is dead and 2 others are hurt after a shooting in Fayetteville. It happened just after 7:30 last night on Chin Oak Drive between Rayford Road and I-295. This is video from our crew on the scene. We'll get to that in just a minute. Here we go. Officers arrived. They found 3 people with gunshot wounds. One of them later died at the hospital. The other 2 are expected to recover. Fayetteville police say that they want anybody who knows anything to come forward.
Today, several world leaders are set to join talks between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Donald Trump at the White House. They're meeting to discuss a possible peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. This comes after President's summit in Alaska with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump said that he and Putin decided to work toward a peace agreement and not just a ceasefire. He's expected to outline some of Putin's demands in today's meeting. They include Ukraine giving up Crimea, which Russia illegally annexed in 2014. Another demand by Putin is that Ukraine agrees to never join NATO.
Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. Show you some video from overnight in Utah where there are 3 police officers who were shot while trying to respond to what was being described as a disturbance call. Now, this happened again overnight here, and this is these are 3 officers with the Tremonton Garland Police. And we know that officers were calling for backup at one point, but eventually they stopped responding on their radio. Here's the deal, though. No reports of any of the officers dying, but in terms of their injuries, that is what we are not sure of just yet. We're trying to get more updates from investigators there. But we do know that the suspect in this case has since been arrested.
Thanks, Chris. A brush fire in Hillsborough started from power lines. A witness sent this video to WRAL. It happened around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon near the Boone Square Shopping Center. That's on South Churton Street. Witnesses say she heard a pop and saw power equipment throwing off sparks. And those sparks turned into a raging fire. Flames shot 20 feet into the air at times. The fire burned for nearly an hour and scorched much of that hillside. And firefighters eventually brought those flames under control. The fire knocked out several power to thousands of homes and businesses for about 6 hours. We have reached out to Duke Energy to confirm what caused the initial issue.
Durham police are investigating a shooting that killed a man. It happened around 4 yesterday morning on South Hoover Road near Anger Avenue. Police have not yet released the victim's name. We have calls out to learn more about the police investigation, including if there are any suspects. 1 week from today, students will be back in the classroom in Wake County Public Schools. And today, the Wash House in Raleigh is hosting a backpack giveaway to get kids ready for the first day. And that's happening from 5 to 7:30 on Davis Circle in Raleigh. There will also be activities for your kids to enjoy and pizza, too. The Wash House's Fayetteville location will host its own event Wednesday at 5 p.m. And WRAL has you covered for the start of the new school year. Find out where to find the cheapest supplies, how to prepare your child for the first day, and more on WRAL.com. Just search the words back to school.
The city of Raleigh offering new dockless bikes starting today. It's part of a pilot program designed to make riding more flexible and convenient while keeping sidewalks and streets safe and accessible. City leaders have added new spots for people to leave bikes around the city, and the program will run until next April. Time now is 8:40. Healthier sleeping habits. Students need to get more rest before the first day of school. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shares how to help your child get back to their original schedule.
Plus, on strike, flight attendants with Air Canada are calling for better pay, how the airline is responding to their demands, and the cancellations it's facing.
And as we head to break, we'll take you live out to North Hills. A beautiful sunny start. We do have the chance for some afternoon storms today, and we are closely watching Hurricane Erin in the Caribbean. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shows us the latest track from the National Hurricane Center.
8:44. It's a nice start out there this morning. 75 in Wilson, 76 in Durham, and 77 in Fayetteville. Lots of sunshine out there. The whirligig just recently started spinning a bit, so a little breezy out there right now, but generally it's going to be a nice day. We do have a small chance for thunderstorms. A weak front will cross our area today, mostly our eastern counties with that 30% chance, and some of those could produce some heavy downpours. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're pretty dry. Wednesday and Thursday are the days that we'll see the hurricane moving off the coast of North Carolina, not making landfall. We'll have minimal, if any, impacts here, but we'll talk about what we'll see at the coast coming up. Oh, here's what we'll see this afternoon here. We're going to see a heat index up around 97 to 98, and then we'll talk about some cooler temperatures on the way in just a little bit. Laura?
Here in the traffic center, watching a handful of crashes here. I'll take you to the one that's causing the biggest delays right now in Nightdale. This is on Nightdale Boulevard, where you can see all of the red. That is the backups that we're seeing along Nightdale Boulevard, closer to North Smithfield Road. Of course, we're taking a look at those drive times as well. If you're traveling in from Nightdale, we are seeing some improvements, but still some delays. About a 2-minute delay. This is from Chapel Hill coming in from the Durham area. So, of course, if you're heading out on the road, be sure to tune us in on 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Laura. Late nights and lazy mornings are part of summer, but as the first day of school approaches, getting your child back on a regular sleep schedule is critical. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shares 5 easy ways to get your students back on track.
First, start shifting sleep now. Move bedtime earlier by about 10 to 15 minutes at night until you get them to their proper time. Doctors specializing in sleep say children kindergarten through high school should get 10 to 12 hours a night.
Next, limit evening activity. Get rid of their tablets and please limit their caffeine, even heavy meals. Then I want you to create a nice sleep time routine. Make it consistent for your child and even make sure that their bedroom is clean, cool, and comfortable. That will help. Finally, when they wake up, expose them to sunlight. That will help with their circadian rhythm and get them started for the day.
Talk to your children about the importance of sleep. We talk to them about the importance of what we eat. And if you think about the 3 key pillars of health, diet, exercise, and sleep. So talk to them about it, about how important it is. And you may be surprised of how they might respond to it.
Now, even after you've done all those things, if your child is still really sleepy, Dr. Wells, who you just heard speaking there, says that may be the sign of an underlying issue, and you should probably talk with your child's doctor. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
As 10,000 flight attendants are on strike, Air Canada plans to resume flights tonight. The strike began Saturday, and they're demanding higher wages and to be paid when planes are grounded. Air Canada says it offered a 38% increase in pay over 4 years. It also says the company offered an hourly raise of between 12 and 16% in the first year of the contract. The president of the Canadian Union of Public Employees says this process has not been equal.
The whole process has been unfair. Air Canada has really refused to bargain with us, and they refused to bargain with us because they knew this government would come in on their white horse and try and save the day. Well, these workers here said, no, that's not on. We're going to stay on strike.
Air Canada says it may take a week or longer to get all its flights back on schedule.
A judge in Georgia shocked the courtroom when he returned the verdict in a murder case. He gave the wrong result. The man on trial was accused of shooting and killing a Fulton County deputy in December of 2022. The judge read the verdict, but then needed to correct himself. Take a listen.
The verdict, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty as to all 6 counts of the bill of indictment. Sheriff, will you please hand this to State's Counsel and pass it over to...
Wait, what?
Didn't I say not?
No.
Sorry. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty on all 6 counts.
And the judge apologized for his error. The man who was on trial claimed self-defense for that shooting.
Well, familiar faces in the new Scary Movie and a Star Trek anniversary.
Yeah, let's take a look at what's trending this morning. Two big stars returning for the newest installment of the Scary Movie franchise. Anna Faris and Regina Hall coming back in the horror spoof series. The announcement was made by Marlon Wayans on Instagram. He is also returning as a writer and a star of the movie. These movies are hilarious.
And who doesn't love Marlon Wayans? Anything that he plays in is hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's going to be so great.
Absolutely. Well, Star Trek fans are looking forward to the 60th anniversary of the beloved series, and the franchise is celebrating with commemorative action figures. They'll include characters like Captain Kirk, Spock, and rare characters like Peter Preston.
Very cool. I've never seen Star Trek, so I know the characters. Like, you know, I've heard it before because it's such a huge movie, but no, I've never seen it.
Get with the program. This is going to be awesome. A lot of people excited for this.
Okay, I'll have to watch it. Catch up. Well, Brooke Johnson became the first woman to skateboard across America while raising money for a cause that's very personal to her. Her 118-day journey from Venice Beach, California to Virginia Beach was in honor of her stepdad. He suffered a spinal cord injury, and she promised him she would raise money for his recovery by skating across America. He passed away before she was able to do so. Her journey finished on Friday. She raised almost $50,000 for spinal cord research. That is incredible. She probably also needs a break skating across America. I cannot even imagine, but the cause was phenomenal. All right, let's get over to weather. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center closely watching Hurricane Erin.
And the intensity of Erin's been kind of up and down as we've been through the weekend. It strengthened again overnight to Category 4. A very distinct eye wall here. Definitely that is the hallmark of a very strong storm. Over the weekend, it passed just north of the Leeward Islands, including down around Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. It is brushing past some of the southern Bahama Islands right now. It's not likely to make landfall technically with the center of circulation, but still producing a lot of heavy rain and some of these large rain bands, some flooding there, and some damage certainly to those islands. 890 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras right now, moving northwest at 13, winds at 130 miles per hour. It's likely to back off to Category 3 in the next 24 hours or so, and could be Category 2 offshore of North Carolina. But it's a huge system. I mean, all the way across from one end to the other end, it's about 500 miles. So it's huge, it's powerful, and will have some major impacts along the coast of North Carolina. Now here in our viewing area, we're not likely to see much, if anything, maybe an isolated thunderstorm on Wednesday or Thursday, cooler day. It should be a pretty nice forecast for us. A lot of times these hurricanes act like vacuums and they just suck up all the moisture and energy all around them. And we're going to be in that area where it's pretty calm. Our southern beaches, though, will have dangerous surf, rip current danger already at high right now. That will continue Tuesday, probably all the way through Thursday. Along the Outer Banks, it gets even more serious. We're more likely to have flooding, overwash on Highway 12. It may become impassable. There could certainly be some damage due to flooding, as well as rip currents, heavy surf, beach erosion, you name it, and they'll likely see it along the Outer Banks. Already, if I didn't mention, there is, they want you already off the island there at Hatteras and Ocracoke. Already evacuation orders have been issued. So more about that coming up. Cold front slides across our area today. Ahead of it today, it's still going to be pretty hot and sticky. We have the potential for that very weak boundary to produce a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly along and east of I-95. A few of those could produce some heavy downpours. Our chance is only about a 30%. Around town this afternoon, it's a hot one. Highs will be in the low to mid 90s. It'll feel more like upper 90s. For the rest of the week, our highs are in the 80s.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. And before we go to break, here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic coming up next.